Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up on our pages this week, we look at the 2017 highlights of achievements at the Office of the Prime Minister and the effects of sudden cardiac arrest and what to do in the event this happens. Stay tuned for these and more as the magazine unfolds.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
The Office of the Prime Minister worked hard last year to ensure the continued growth of the country. Here are the highlights.
At the start of the Andrew Holness-led administration in 2016, the target was clear: 5% growth in 4 years. That mission has not changed. In fact, in 2017, there were positive steps towards achieving the targets set. Securing the country to foster growth was a major priority for the Office of the Prime Minister in 2017. In January, the administration welcomed new Chief of Defence Staff, Major General Rocky Meade. By July, the Zones of Special Operations Bill was passed and 2 zones declared in the year.
We will stay with the communities for as long as it takes for them to be normalized. And by normalized, we mean that the community owns the peace.
Tackling corruption was another focus of the Office of the Prime Minister. In 2017, the Integrity Commission Bill was passed.
From my estimation, Jamaica, our nation, will win from this new legislation.
Jamaica's security apparatus also extended to the Caribbean in the aftermath of 3 major hurricanes.
Their exemplary performance has ensured that our national flag was proudly worn by our soldiers as a welcome sight all over the island.
And to ensure even greater protection for citizens, Mr. Holness piloted and the Houses of Parliament passed the National Identification and Registration Authority NERA Act.
The bill is consistent with a rights-based approach to ensure that every citizen of Jamaica can be identified and be known to the state.
Town hall meetings and a NIDS Facts website was created to give Jamaicans credible information about the legislation. And plans to transform Jamaica into a digital society took shape in 2017. The country secured a $68 million loan to implement the NIDS as the first phase of the program.
We're emphasizing the creation of the digital society because it will bring economic growth and job creation.
Public sector streamlining also continued in 2017. In January, Maria Thompson Walters was appointed to lead the public sector transformation team, and several entities were either divested, merged, closed, or subsumed into a parent ministry.
We want the public sector to see themselves as the important instrument of growth and equal and critical partners with the private sector in bringing growth and prosperity to Jamaica.
In March, the Prime Minister welcomed the first cohort of Jamaica House Fellows. The 8 will work with the government for 2 years.
We have to build a society of excellence.
By May, the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment Hope Initiative was launched. Over 14,000 unemployed, unskilled or unattached 18 to 24-year-olds were engaged in 2017. The Jamaica Defence Force also played its part towards achieving the 5% growth target. In addition to recruiting 500 young persons under its National Service Enlistment Corps, it also opened the Directorate of Training and Doctrine Institute to boost its training capacity.
The directive to the board is to build house.
And the National Housing Trust did just that, delivering over 5,000 housing starts in 2017. 42 developments across 11 parishes were also initiated in the year. Thanks to a policy change in July, NHT contributors can now access up to $5.5 million to buy homes on the open market. 8,500 loans were disbursed to mortgages, and the NHT increased its homeowners loan to $2.5 million, up from $1.5 million. The trust also completed a strategic review of its operations in November.
The country should now prepare itself for profound, fundamental, but changes that are beneficial to the NHT and to the people of Jamaica.
There were marked improvements in communication between government and citizens in 2017.
Today, without equivocation, we apologize for what occurred in Coral Gardens. 73 persons lost their lives, and we are truly sorry for the pain and loss that occurred.
On July 24, the Office of the Prime Minister launched its Jamaica House petition portal, giving citizens the chance to lobby government on matters of national importance. Several community meetings were held during the year under the OPM Live and Hope for Jamaica banners.
These town hall meetings are about empowering the people of Jamaica.
The Access to Information Youth Ambassadors program was launched in November. On May 4, OPM TV Online broadcast its first content. And to accommodate greater coverage of national events, the JIS Television Department's planned relocation made major progress. 2017 was a banner year for the Office of the Prime Minister, and 2018 is shaping up to be an even better year.
I'm strongly of the view that we will achieve the growth targets set.
Whether you drive on 2 wheels or 4, there's one thing I can guarantee you. That is that you know someone that's gonna need blood one day, or you might just be that someone. So here's the deal. The blood we have can only supply about 50% of the need. That's why with the craziness that's happening on the roads, we need you to join the One Love, One Blood campaign. The life you save just might be your own.
Protecting the environment is everybody's business. Here's how technology is being used to make the environment a safer place.
The thick, black, acrid smoke rising from the tail end in front of you. The cloud of dust shooting up from the construction site across the road. The unseen particles in the air. Environmental pollutants that can lead to serious health problems. Over the years, a whole host of measures have been employed to reduce the risks, but still we are not out of the woods. But increasingly, technology is being applied to the problem, and the developments are encouraging.
People who are exposed to pollutants in the environment can have different types of reactions, depending on the level of exposure, like the time and duration.
So the effects of pollutants have prompted the government to draft new public health regulations. One particular piece of legislation in the works, targeting cigarette smoke, represents a major step forward in discouraging smoking in public places.
We must bear in mind that every health impact has a cost related. For some of them, studies will have to be done to determine the exact cost on each health outcome.
At Green Expo 2011, where the focus was on environmental protection and preservation, firms displayed the latest technology to help clear the air, literally. Air quality is important. And in an office setting where most of us spend the majority of our day, testing for balance in temperature and humidity is key. Emphasis should also be placed on detecting bacteria or fungi in the air that may lead to ailments.
The meter is able to analyze and log temperature, carbon dioxide, relative humidity, dew point, and carbon monoxide, all in real time. If the temperature is too high, people complain. If the temperature is too low, people complain. If humidity is too high, people tend to feel clammy, and so this can affect workers' performance in the office.
An acceptable indoor office temperature is anywhere from 22.8 degrees Celsius to 26.1 degrees Celsius, while relative humidity should be between 30 and 60%. The risk of carbon monoxide poisoning is a critical reason for the importance of air quality testing, especially in factories or power plants that give off fumes or smoke. Dry periods, construction sites, and newly built housing schemes all have one thing in common. They expose us to unwanted dust. Long-term or overexposure can lead to serious risks such as asthmatic conditions and damage to the lungs. And though the naked eye can't see the magnitude of our contact, dust meters are able to capture that information.
This machine in particular examines dust particles of 10 micrometers or less. A micrometer is 1/1000th of a millimeter, and at that size, particles are able to bypass the nose hairs and get into your lungs, which can cause long-term respiratory ailments. And data from this machine is particularly useful because it is a US EPA reference standard, so data from it can actually hold up in a court of law. How the ambient air sampler works is that there's a vacuum down here which sucks in air through these pores, and it is placed onto a filter, and we weigh this filter before use and after use and do a calculation based on a time-weighted average, which gives us a dust reading in milligrams per meter cubed. The more data we collect and the more accurate this data allows us to monitor our environment better and mitigate against negative environmental impacts.
We use technology to quicken in terms of our studies. Also, we find that employing technology improves our quality of work that we produce.
To mitigate against these exposures, people can wear protective gear where it is necessary. In our own homes and offices, we can mitigate against the amount of dust that would accumulate by having regular cleaning.
The greatest thing is to know. Being aware of what's in your air could save your lungs and keep you healthy.
Food is an important part of the Jamaican culture, and Devon House is signatory for its mouth-watering ice cream. So clearly there was no doubt as to where the first gastronomy center in Jamaica should have been located. Take a look.
This evening we launch the first of hopefully a number of gastronomy centers across destination Jamaica. We selected Devon House to be the start not only because it is unique in its own offerings, we also selected Devon House because it's in the center of commerce and entertainment and culture in the Caribbean, the city of Kingston.
Gastronomy is one of the fastest growing reasons for people to travel. The World Tourism Organization estimates that the gastronomy market is approximately $150 billion. Boasting world-renowned food and beverage delights such as ackee and saltfish, jerk pork, coffee, and rum, Jamaica is being marketed as a food destination. The Tourism Ministry is serving a platter of treats to foodies. Serving the helpings are gastronomy centers of Jamaica. Stops for guests to cook, dine, and be educated on Jamaican food.
We're going to be establishing here at Devon House the first gastronomy club. And we will be building a special kitchen so that that dream of putting the first standalone kitchen without a chef, without a cook, without anyone except those who will see to its campness throughout the period. And we will be marketing that kitchen as a location for visitors from across the world to come to Devon House and cook. So you will bring your families on a Sunday afternoon, and we'll be establishing a farmer's market just next door to it. The final thing that we want to do here at Devon House in advancing this gastronomy prototype is to establish a food shop. You move from shop to shop and you just nibble. You just pick and eat different types of cuisine. So you perhaps start with a little rundown. The next shop is jerk chicken. The next shop is jerk pork. The next shop is ackee and saltfish.
It seems a perfect combo. Devon House, built by Jamaica's first black millionaire in the 1800s, has transcended into a haven for ice cream lovers and socialites. Already on site, some 14 eateries featuring local and international cuisine.
I think it's an excellent idea. I think the time has come for that. We serve both Jamaican food, international food, and we also have an Italian pizzeria.
What we do is a thin crust pizza with fresh dough, daily prepared, and we combine it with the Jamaican flavors. So like the Jamaican pizza is ackee and callaloo, or jerk pork, jerk chicken. We also do Hawaiian, pepperoni, so we try to please all kind of buds.
It's a fabulous idea. One, because Devon House has such rich history, and I believe that it's in line with our culture. It's just whatever it is that comes and intertwines together as one. You know, food, culture, music, is a lifestyle.
I know it's going to be much more exciting. I believe what the Ministry of Tourism have done so far in terms of the improvement on the property is just amazing, and I just know it's going to get better as it goes along. The other retail shops that are here is also a wonderful combination. The atmosphere is great. We love it for Rev Jewelry and Accessories because it lends to the energy and the synergy of what we have to offer. So I'm very happy about this move.
It's an absolutely amazing idea. If we can bring gastronomy and market that as a tourism destination or as a tourist choice rather, that would be amazing.
The thought of persons in Jamaica and all that has always been, why is our food not more out there, Why isn't that more people coming just for the food? So, with the minister's vision, it was really about putting that plan into reality.
So happy that the minister has been able to fuse food across the world, Jamaican with Chinese, Jamaican with Italian, Jamaican with Indian, Jamaican with French. Any cuisine across the world, we can fuse it with some of our jerk seasoning or some things that are synonymous to Jamaica.
We are particularly happy at this initiative by our minister. The more people that utilize Devon House to come there for different experiences, it means that Devon House will be more self-sufficient in generating funds for the upkeep and maintenance of this heritage site.
When you create a gastronomy center, create an opportunity for not just locals. The locals already understand Devon House, but the tourists that may come, it may attract visitors from the cruise operators, because it's a big deal. And I think it's something that we need to push and drive, because the history and culture of Devon House actually fits very well with the new model, the new proposed model.
Cancer, stress, high blood pressure. Guard yourself against these potentially deadly conditions by eating healthy. Give your body long life with foods such as low-fat milk, dried and fresh peas and beans, unsalted nuts and seeds, fresh vegetables, fruits, and coconut water, and eliminate processed seasonings such as seasoning salt, soy sauces, and ketchup. When it comes to meats, remember to remove the skin to reduce the intake of fats and oils. Meats should also be baked, steamed, grilled, or roasted. Fish is also a preferred protein option. To eat healthy, fill your body with a variety of foods from all the food groups. And remember, eat at a slow pace and in small bites to help aid digestion. This helps to maintain a healthy, balanced, and nutritious diet, strengthening your body to ward off illness and prolong life.
Do you know what a cardiac arrest is and what to do when one occurs? This next feature has all the details.
You're up and about, going through your routine activities. Suddenly, you collapse without warning. Your heart stops beating, and within seconds, you stop breathing. A quick check shows there's no pulse. All signs of sudden cardiac arrest. Sudden cardiac arrest, SCA, is a condition in which the heart unexpectedly stops beating. When this happens, blood stops flowing to the brain and other vital organs. The person may die if not treated within minutes.
So the way you decide if they're having sudden cardiac arrest is, in addition to seeing if they're conscious, calling to them and seeing if there's any response, you need to feel for a pulse. So you'd feel at the neck, at the angle of the jaw, or you could listen for the heartbeat by putting your ear to the patient's chest. You need to see if they're breathing. So if they're not breathing, they have no pulse, then they're in cardiac arrest.
SCA is not to be confused with a heart attack, which happens when blood flow to the heart is blocked. However, a heart attack can lead to sudden cardiac arrest. Another way to look at it is, a heart attack is a circulation problem, while sudden cardiac arrest is an electrical one. The immediate cause of most SCAs is an abnormal heart rhythm as the electrical activities of the heart becomes chaotic and the heart is unable to pump blood to the rest of the body.
We're all at risk for sudden cardiac death, so we need to know our numbers and our status. What is your blood pressure? Do you know what your blood pressure is? Do you know what your cholesterol is? So we might be a walking time bomb and we don't know. It's not just people who appear healthy who are at risk. Somebody can be overweight and you say, oh, they're bound to drop down, but somebody who is slim can drop down as well. It just depends what the other risk factors are. So I just think the only way we can know is to know your numbers, know your status.
Among the conditions that trigger sudden cardiac arrest is coronary artery disease, a more common cause in persons over 35 years old. Also, cardiomyopathy, in which the heart muscle becomes enlarged or thick and weak, as well as inherited disorders that may cause parts of the heart to stretch and become weak. Other conditions include disorders of the heart's electrical system, as well as heart defects that were exhibited at birth. Persons who have a family history of sudden cardiac arrest or heart disease are also at risk. In contrast to elderly persons, cases of SCA is not prevalent in children.
But the children can be born with some types of heart disease that make them have a higher risk for sudden cardiac arrest. That is usually picked up if they have, sometimes at birth, because of the abnormalities, but even if they're corrected, they can still have an increased risk of sudden cardiac arrest.
Highlighted cases of SCA in student athletes in recent years prompted increased focus on evaluation for the physically active.
I would like to encourage all parents, if you have a child who is involved in any team sport, any physical activity, or even a lot of physical activity, even if they're not on a team, to please have your child checked. Carry them for sudden cardiac arrest screening. We have it at the Heart Foundation. We can come island-wide, or go to your GP and have your child tested.
A victim of sudden cardiac arrest can survive with the quick action of a bystander who is able to apply immediately cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR.
You will start resuscitative efforts, which would include compressing the chest in order to get the heart going. You may or may not breathe for them. Nowadays, it is not, a lot of bystanders balk at starting CPR because they don't want to put their mouth on the patient's mouth. And I mean, that's a real concern. Studies were done a couple years ago and they determined that compression only CPR, so just pressing on the chest alone, is of value.
If available, an automated external defibrillator AED can be used within a few minutes to restore a normal rhythm to the heart. These may be available at certain places such as airports, stadiums and other public and business places.
If someone has developed chest pain, they've grabbed their chest, they've sank to their, sank down on the ground because they're having chest pain or they're not breathing properly, you don't start CPR for that. They need to get to medical attention immediately. But you would only start CPR if the patient is pulseless and not breathing.
Following that bit of first intervention, which must take place within the first 4 to 5 minutes of sudden cardiac arrest, the patient will need to be moved immediately to a hospital. The Ministry of Health since 1996 has been partnering with the Ministry of Local Government through the Jamaica Fire Brigade to expand its provision of pre-hospital service.
We recognize that transportation of patients to hospital is a vital part of the chain of survival. Certainly from the patient suffers an incident to the point at which they reach hospital and get care. The transportation to hospital is important, and not only in terms of the time that it takes, but also in terms of the support that is provided during that transport.
You're supposed to have a defibrillator on the ambulance. You're supposed to have basic drugs which a trained paramedic would be able to administer to continue advanced cardiac life support. And when they get to the hospital, which would have been alerted from the ambulance that we're bringing in a cardiac arrest victim, the team would be waiting at the door of the hospital to receive this patient.
Based on the value of CPR in saving a life, the Ministry of Health has been partnering with the Heart Foundation of Jamaica to encourage more Jamaicans to get trained in CPR. And this important life skill is everybody's business, so get trained and be ready to lend a hand when the need arises.
Are you being promised lots of money, trips overseas, marriage, gifts and other benefits without strings attached? What of jobs with excellent salaries but require no experience? You could become a victim of human trafficking, modern-day slavery, where you're forced to work or perform sexual favors. Remember, not everything that glitters is gold.
Human trafficking is said to be the world's fastest growing crime. And we here at the JIS join our global neighbors in raising awareness about this inhumane crime. If you or anyone you know has been a victim of human trafficking, call 811 or 1-888-PROTECT. That's 1-888-776-8328. Do not remain silent. Let us work together to eliminate human trafficking and make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. I hope you found our program informative. Send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm. Stay informed on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and of course Twitter. Or download our app on your Apple and Android devices to catch up on the go. You can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.